Hey there, this is Jamie, and welcome to my first video for Chapter 4, where we're looking at descriptive data mining. Descriptive data mining basically refers to the process of trying to understand which variables are similar, which variables go together, which variables are correlated, and also, more specifically, which people or which observations are correlated, which ones are similar enough that we might be able to treat them in a special way, like we would with target marketing, right? Running certain ads in certain markets, or understanding how people's beliefs on certain issues might tend to influence the way that they vote. So, the process of finding similarities or matching variables together is different whether or not you've got a numerical variable, something like age, or income or children, or whether you've got something that's a categorical variable where you would group someone is either being something or not being something, right? So you might say that someone is a dog owner, you'd give them the number 1, and then 0 would be not a dog owner, right? We also do that with gender. Someone who's female would be 1 for being female, and someone who is not female would be identified as 0 for being not female. If you've got a numeric variable, things like age or income or how many children you have, we tend to use a measure called Euclidean distance to figure out how similar or different two observations are. So in this data set, I have 30 observations, and each observation is a person. And for each person, I've got 3 pieces of information. I've got their age, I've got their income in dollars, and I have how many children they have. And I want to figure out how similar any two members of the sample are. So to use Euclidean distance, it's the square root of a sum of squared differences. And whenever you have just a plain old sum of square differences, the items that are large, the variables that are large, like income, are going to have a really big impact on the calculated distance, whereas the variables that are in very small units, like children, are going to have very little impact. So basically, the distance that we calculate, if we just use these raw numbers, is going to be almost completely determined by the differences in income. So we need a standardized measure. We need Z-scores. That was done in Chapter 2, but I want to show you here how you would do it and set it up and how that's going to look. So I'm going to start by hiding some rows. This is a super neat tool. If you don't want to have to scroll down, scrolling down to 30 is not so bad. Scrolling down to 110,000 is pretty bad. So I will maybe keep the first 10 observations, then highlight the rest until I get to 1 or 2 below the end, and I'll right click and hide them. Now I've got a line here between 15 and 34, and I can see that my observations go to 10, then they jump to 29 and 30. Now I can do math, right? Calculate things like average and standard deviation down here, and I can still work with the numbers and see most of my observations. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some columns to place my standardized scores. And here I'm going to do age, but it's going to be my Z-score, my standardized version of age. The Z-score, again, is how many standard deviations is your observation away from the mean value. And then I'm going to do an income Z-score. And then I'm going to calculate a Z-score for the number of children that each person that we've observed has. I need some symmetry here. It's a thing for me. So I'm just going to merge that across. And then I'm just going to adjust this width, the cell width. Okay, I'll make them a little bit wider. Let's make them all that wide. Okay. So to calculate a Z-score for each observation, I need 2 pieces of information. I need to know the average value for each variable, and I need to know the standard deviation of each variable. So here under age, I'm going to hit the equal sign and then type the word average. And then if I highlight all of the ages in my sample, I can gloss over these hidden ones. They'll be included in the calculation anyway. Close the parentheses and press enter. I see that my average age is about 46 years of age. If I add another decimal to that, you'll see that it's really 45.97, but I'm going to round that to the nearest whole number. And my standard deviation, I'm going to use stdev.s because I have a sample, right? It's a sample of people. I don't have every person on the planet or even every person in an organization. I'm assuming that there are more than 30 people here, and this is a sample of those people. And the standard deviation is 13 years. So my z-score, actually before I do that, pause, I'm going to copy and paste these two formulas in each of my cells, and here under children, I'm going to give them an extra decimal or two. So how I interpret these is that on average, people have slightly less than one child, and the standard deviation is slightly more than one child. Average income in the sample is about $28,000, and the standard deviation is a little over 13,000, 13,700. So the z-score measures how far does this observation vary from the mean measured in standard deviations. So to calculate the z-score, I take the level of the variable for the observation I'm interested in, and I subtract the average. I then divide that by the standard deviation. I'm going to make sure to use an absolute reference, that's that command T or F4, on both the sample average and the sample standard deviation so that I can drag my results down. I'm going to add a couple of decimal places here, 2, so that I get 0.16 instead of 0, then I'm going to drag it down. And so how I interpret these is that our first person in our sample is 48 years old. That is 0.16 standard deviations above the mean age for people in this sample. If we look at person number 7, they're 22, right? That's quite a bit younger than the sample average. In fact, it is 1.84 standard deviations below the sample average. And we know that it's below if the sign is negative, and we know it's above if the sign is positive. So I'll do the same thing for income. I take my observed level of income for the person or the observation that I'm looking at it, and I subtract the sample average, making sure to absolute reference that sample average. I then divide by the sample standard deviation, again using an absolute reference. I'm going to drag this down, and I'm going to add some decimals here so that I can see at least to 2 decimal places how many standard deviations away from the mean each individual's income is. So someone who makes less than the average income, like the person in observation 1, is going to have a negative z-score with a negative z-score of 0.76, meaning that they make just about 3/4 of a standard deviation less than the average level of income. For children, we'll do the same thing. I'm going to drag this down. It needs to be centered. That makes me happier, and then I'll add a couple of decimal places. So these are our z-scores. Someone with 1 child has, just barely over the average number of children, whereas someone with 3 children has almost 2 standard deviations above the mean for our sample number of children, whereas someone with no kids has 0.86 standard deviations less than the mean. And that's what z-scores mean. And by calculating Euclidean distance between observations based on standardized z-scores, we're able to assess the similarities between 2 observations in a way that's not distorted by large values for things like income that will outweigh the impact of large differences, perhaps, in things like number of children. So now, I'm someone who's got a income difference that's 1.4 standard deviations below the mean, that will register as a large difference. But someone who's quite close to the mean, like 10%, 0.1 standard deviations away, it won't, override the large difference that this person has in terms of number of children. So come back for the next video and we will calculate Euclidean distance and evaluate the difference between two observations using both single and complete linkages.